You see, there's so many things that are tied to what you believe. And for us to try to sort out what your beliefs are about different things would take a long time. We could write a series of 10 books just on what we're reading in your vortexual vibration and in your resistance along your path. And it's not necessary, because knowing all of that would not necessarily make your path clearer. In fact, it would probably make your path more cumbersome. But if we can convince you that you're supposed to get what you want, and that as you have clarity about what you want, and you do, you've made some very strong decisions. That's one thing that we can really feel in a powerful way that's coming from you as you're talking about the decision you've made. You really mean this. You want to feel better. You want to release the tension, and you associate the tension with what you've been living. And you took some rather dramatic steps that sort of trample all kinds of other beliefs. It was sort of like you prioritized what matters most. And so at the same time that you walk away, if you really walk away, you know for sure that at least in the beginning, your financial wherewithal will be diminished quite dramatically if you don't keep doing what you're doing, if you don't keep the momentum going the way that you've been keeping the momentum going. And yet it matters so much to you to feel better that you took this, what you're calling a sort of temporary step. And you wanted from us some validation about the rightness in taking a temporary step away from, but we don't want to validate that that's the way, because where you are is the path of least resistance for the other things that you want, like the $10 million. That's the path of least resistance for it. Can you feel the little bit of contradiction that was offered here? I'm walking away from this thing that I know for sure is the path to something that I really want. So now you've got contradiction going on within you. But why not say, I've got some momentum going, and I'm good at what I do, and I've been doing it for a while, and momentum is flowing, and the money is too, and the manifestation is in the offing, and I know it's the next logical step, but it's been a little more tense to me than I want. So I'm going to find a different way of looking at this. I'm going to spend a little more time in meditation, like 15 or 20 minutes a day. I'm going to tune into who I really am. I'm going to get clear with my resources. I'm going to feel more intuitive. I'm going to have better timing. I'm going to make better decisions. I'm going to feel better the whole way along. I'll have evidence of a more resilient feeling body. I'll feel the energy moving through me in a stronger way. I'll be having more fun. I'll be more lighthearted. I won't take it so serious. When I hear them there talking the way they talk, I won't take it serious. I won't feel like I need to push them away or walk away from them. I'll just see it for what it is, and I'll see it for part of the contrast that's helping me, and it is what it is, and it's no big deal. I can take it. It's not causing any real ill effects on me, because I have the ability to focus, so I can have my cake and eat it too. I can stay right here in this environment that felt pretty toxic to me before I started meditating and getting an attitudinal adjustment in myself. Meanwhile, I don't give up the path of least resistance and the momentum that I've got going for the other goals that I have. I don't have to sacrifice one thing to get another. That never ever works. A lot of people, they'll be in a relationship that feels too hard, and we'll say, why don't you leave? And they'll say, because there's so much that I want that is here. And we say, you're in a really hard place. You want it, but you don't want it. You got to clean that up. And you say, I'm trying every day. I'm trying to get the people in this relationship to be different so that I can feel better. And we say, that's not what we meant by cleaning it up. By cleaning it up, we mean you got to focus upon what you want and let your vibration be about that, so that the law of attraction gives you that from the relationship. There's just no other way around it. The expression you can't get there from here really applies. It's a vibrational thing that you do. And we love you so much, humans. We love you so much, but you are so action-oriented. And when you become less action-oriented and more mood-oriented and more alignment-oriented and more inner being-oriented, when you care more about your resonance with your inner being, which means your resonance with all that you've been asking for, then you become more loving of yourself, more trusting of yourself, more willing to accept that good things are supposed to come to you, more acceptance that things can come to you without so much struggle, so you can be more easygoing, so you're not fighting your way to the top, but instead you're just allowing yourself to rise to the top. So when you watch those that are struggling and fighting their way to the top, they amuse you, and you understand it because you've been there, done that, but you know that you've stepped into another vehicle. You have another plan. You have another way. You know that your desires never go away, that your desire doesn't dissipate. Your desire only continues to gather more momentum. And so as your desire gathers more and more momentum and you stay the same, then the crevasse between where your desire is and where the larger part of you is and where you and your physical body are becomes more and more strained. So you feel more and more to the breaking point, which feels like you need a hiatus from it. But you don't need a hiatus from it. You just need to turn in the direction and go in the direction of your desire, which means you got to stop talking against your desire. You got to start talking toward your desire. You got to feel yourself in the direction of what you want. We want so much to say to you how loved you are and how understood you are and how big your vortex is and how good it is that you've created it and how wonderful it is that your emotions tell you what your right now in this moment relationship is with all of that, and how the other people in the world are here to help you in your step one work. They're part of the contrast that causes you to ask. But once you've asked, now you have a whole other vibrational modality that is there to assist you. Humans are your step one friends. Boy, they launch you into more. And then your inner being focuses with you and calls you to the payload of what you've been asking for. And after the contrasting humans around you have helped you to launch your rocket, if you stop looking to them for behavioral changes in order to get what you're asking for, there's a contradiction between your desire and your active vibration. But if you can manage to not think about money, we've been telling people for years, if you can take money out of the equation, and people don't see how that's possible because money is so important to the equation all day, every day. And then we say, well, then soften the word money or the idea of currency and call it prosperity. And then notice the prosperity of the sunset that you devoured, or the prosperity of the vitality that you feel, or the prosperity of this thought turning to a thing, the prosperity of this relationship with this person, or the way this cat feels while it's on your lap and your pet. The prosperity, there's so much prosperity that you can tune to. And as you tune to prosperity, then it will show itself to you in all kinds of different ways. But as long as you've got not enough money, not enough money, not enough money, not enough money active in your vibration, then law of attraction is going to bring you the prosperity in all kinds of other ways. And then you get really articulate. You're really good with words, and you say, why does prosperity come to me in this way and this way and this way and this way, but not that way? And we say, that's why. Because you get what you think about.
Wow.
So we started out today talking to you about the subtleties of vibration. But they don't always have to be subtle. As you tune to who you are and tune to who you are and tune to who you are, after a while, that's such a strong current that it's not subtle, it's dominant. And you find yourself in the middle of an old thought that you used to think, because maybe you're with an old friend who's still where you used to think, and that old friend is articulating what the two of you used to talk about together, and you hear the old sentiment and you think, oh, that doesn't fit me anymore. That's off. That sticks out like a sore thumb. That's not what I know. That's not who I am. That's not what's dominant within me. So what's manifesting in your experience is what's dominant within you. If you want to know what you're offering vibrationally, look around at your life, because it's an exact replica. And if there are things that keep replicating themselves in your life that you don't want, you've got to find a way to not think about them. But you can't not think about it, because when you say, I'm not going to think about it, you're thinking about the thing you're not going to think about. I'm not going to think about that anymore. I'm not going to think about it, and I'm not going to talk about it either, as soon as I just tell you this one last thing. I just have to tell you this one last story. I'll just do it in 16 seconds, but I just have to tell you this one last story about this thing that I do not want. Well, momentum just carries it. So what you want to do is find a way of finding the vibrational essence of what you do want. And the best way we know to do that is to meditate.